Good morning, everybody. How are you doing this fabulous first Wednesday of 2023? Oh, and there's Milo. Good morning, Milo. How you doing? Milo should be coming around the corner any second now. Milo is my little assistant. He's always here to help me whenever I'm working on projects or doing a live broadcast. Come on, buddy. Good morning. Come on. Come say hello to everybody. Well, wherever you are joining me live from, thanks for being here. It's wonderful to see you. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you will come on. Come on. Yep. What would the live broadcast be without an interruption from Milo? Well, good morning, everyone. Hope you have a mug or maybe you've got some water or juice or whatever, but pull up a chair. Take a minute to just say hi. Let me know where you're coming from. Here's Milo. Say hi, Milo. You're going to say hi to everybody this morning. Hi, Miles. Hi, Miles. He's kind of got grumpy cat face. Well, it's good to see you, everyone. Thanks for being here. This is a little thing that I do every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. I come on here live to encourage you about hopefully sharing your story. And if this is the first time for you to catch my live broadcast, thanks for being here. My name is Renee Harden, and by trade, I am an editor, I'm a content writer, I'm also a writing coach. I help people like you think about telling your stories, sharing your stories with the world, whether that be through blog form, or maybe you're a creative creating content, or maybe, just maybe, you have a book that's waiting inside of you to be written. Did you know that 81% of American people believe that they have a story good enough to possibly write in a book or to share? And out of those 81,000 people, 1,000 of them attempt to do it, and of the 1,000, only 30 people finish the job. Why is that? Sometimes people think, well, I can't come up with an idea. I don't really know what I want to write about. 16% of them are perfectionists that struggle so much with worrying about how it looks and how it's formatted and if it's the right thing, that they never really actually produce content. And then there are those who are just throwing content out on social media platforms that don't belong to you, and risk losing their content. Something happens. Talk about weird things that happen. I hope that you have been praying for the family of Damar Hamlin. I believe that's how they say his name is, Damar. It may be Damar, but I believe it's Damar Hamlin, the Buffalo Bills safety who was injured. He's 24 years old, and suffered cardiac arrest, right? Something that could just change on a dime. So we're still praying for you, Damar. We're hoping and believing for your recovery, for your, restoration, your healing. Whether he returns to play football or not doesn't really matter right now. That young man was such a wonderful fixture in his community, and he's gone on to play football, and he's still doing that. His charity has raised now, I think, almost $3 million for his toy drive that he does. You know, things can change in our life, and we never know what can happen. So if you're not gathering those stories and sharing those stories and something happens to your story, it's lost, right? So what I want to encourage you to do is really think about this year as one of your goals, getting serious about writing your story. So it's New Year's. Did you make a list of goals? I'm still working on mine. I have a couple of things that I'm working on, but one of them, believe it or not, one of them is actually writing my own story. Good morning, Rosie. Good to see you, my dear, my sweet cousin. Hello, Savannah. Good morning, sweetie. Always good to see you here helping mom out. But I have been working on my own story, guys. I've been working on it. If you've been following my show for a while, you know that in November, it was NaNoWriMo month. I set myself a writing goal of words. I've written some more content for my story, and my story is about my life told through the lens of all of my coffee mugs. If you've been following me here for a while, you know that I have quite an extensive coffee cup collection, and I share those mugs with you every morning on Wednesday. And behind every mug in my collection is a story, who I got it from, um, the story behind that mug. Maybe it's a place that I visited that I wanted to remember. And so I got the coffee mug. And I believe, I'm trying to remember how many mugs I have, but at last count, I believe I had 185 mugs. 185, right? Um, yeah, well, thanks, Rosie. So, it's a fun way that I can share my story without being the whole, "Oh, I was a little girl and I was born and raised and, lived my life." Well, it's a fun way to tell your story through all the places you've been, the people you've met, and the memories that you share, right? So this mug was a new addition to my coffee mug collection. This was given to me by my son's girlfriend. She knows that I'm a reader. She knows that I help people write books and tell stories. And so this is a mug of a library. Hi, Milo. Look at Milo. He's being so lovey this morning, right? So this is a bookshelf. Looks kind of like that bookshelf, right? All the books that I have on there. But you know what book I don't have on that shelf right now? Yours. Yours. And I love getting to share. Hang on, I'm going to grab a couple of books. Hold on, Milo. We're going to spin around in the big chair because I love helping authors share their stories. And when I get copies of their books, like here's two of the book projects that I worked on last year. This one is a nonfiction book. This is a book written by a young lady who, about 4 or 5 weeks before she was going to give birth to her daughter, she discovered her husband was having an affair and had been having an affair the entire time of their marriage. And so she talks about how, and the reason why it's her on the cover with the chocolate chip cookies, because during those days of being a single mom and raising a newborn and trying to work and hold a job, she said, I lived on chocolate chip cookies and almond milk. But in this book, she shares how she overcame that, how she rose up. And I love when my authors get to send me a copy of their book and autograph it. It's so much fun. Then this is a fun little romance, little holiday romance story that came out from my friend Brigitte Carter. I love, and again, my authors, they get to sign their books to me. And I just love adding their stories. This is a fun little romance story called Christmas at Cummings. It's a series that she's writing. The protagonist is this girl right here. She is the caretaker and actually administrator of caring for the Cummins estate. This is a beautiful luxury hotel that her family has owned. And this gentleman comes in. He is her foil slash romance interest. He's the accountant who is coming in for the firm who wants to possibly acquire the estate. So she is fighting to keep that estate in the family while dealing with her feelings for Carlos. Christmas at Cummings, it was a great book that came out in December. So proud of her. And so this is just an example of some of the authors that I get to help share their stories. Those who were, they weren't quite sure. Could they do it? Can I do this? I have this story that I want to bring to you and I want you to look at it. Tell me what you think. Well, now it's in book form. And I'm so excited to watch my authors launch their own stories. And so that's why I want to help you do the same thing. And guys, I'm doing it too. I'm writing my own. In fact, my goal this year is to get my book published. I have been working on this for probably the last 2.5 years. I kind of had a hiccup when I went through breast cancer treatment because that really kind of knocked me off my feet for a while. And yet working with other authors and watching their joy and their drive helped me sort of say, well, wait a minute, Renee, you work on books for a living. You help authors write their stories. Why haven't you written yours? Well, guys, this is the year. So far, I have 60 entries, 60 out of 185. So I have 125 more to write about. And if I'm going to publish that this year, I need to get busy writing, right? So I'm pulling down mugs and I sit and spend time with them and I think about what I want to say, the story that I have behind them kind of inspires me. And it doesn't matter what it looks like at first. I'm just writing down what comes to mind at first. The importance of the story, who gave me the cup, where we were. Some of them have pictures. I've gone through my phone with all of the pictures that I've been saving to add to the story, right? So I'm hoping to get that published this year. That's my goal. But my goal is also to have you publish your stories. You can't walk by a mug without thinking of me. Well, see, that's the hook of my stories. That is the hook of my stories, Judy. Yes. Savannah, you can't wait to read my book. This is my daughter, you guys. She helps me with all my social media, all of my graphics. She works for me part-time as my virtual assistant, and I appreciate all her work. She's going to be helping me probably do some branding and things when I get my book ready to promote. So there are people out there that are excited and waiting to read my story. There are people that are excited to read your story. But I know it can be a daunting task. Believe me, I know it because I'm going through it myself. But there is a book that is coming out next week that I'm super jazzed about. I didn't work on it. I'm not involved in writing it or helping with editing it. However, this person has been a sort of creative mentor from afar. And I'm super excited about it because if you've ever wanted to write a book, if you really want to get serious about it and you want to learn some tools that can help you get started and truly think about writing your book and it not being a daunting task, have I got a book for you. And this is a great time to put something on your list of goals that you want to work on, because this is one of mine. So if writing a story or writing a book is one of your goals for this year, or maybe even next year, but if you really want to get serious about doing it, this is the month to do it. All right. So I'm excited about this book. It is coming out next week. It is called Write for Life. There it is. It's called Write for Life by Julia Cameron. If you're not familiar with Julia Cameron, Julia wrote a book, I think it was like back in the late 80s, early 90s, called The Artist's Way. This book just blew the doors off for so many people who are creatives. You could be a writer, you could be a sculptor, you could be a filmmaker. She tapped into how to truly capture your creativity and let it blossom and flow. I can't tell you how many, I just saw recently in the last couple of weeks, my friend Brian Koppelman, who is the creator of the show, Billions, if you've ever watched it on Showtime. And, he even attests to the fact of that Julia Cameron really inspired him and gave him some tools to create. And he's, a filmmaker. So if you don't know who Julia Cameron is, let me give you a little background of who she is. So do you know who Martin Scorsese is? The director, Martin Scorsese, right? Well, Julia Cameron is his ex-wife. Julia used to be married to Martin Scorsese. How about that? So she has years of experience in dealing with creatives on a large scale. And The Artist's Way book was just revolutionary in helping creative people really tap into their talent and really focus so they can produce whatever it is. People who are, I don't know, seamstresses, painters, writers, filmmakers, screenplay writers, people writing for the stage, right? All of these people tapped into this program. Well, I'm really excited about this book because it's coming out next week, and it is a 6-week program designed especially for writers, right? So I'm super excited about this book. Like, I can't wait. Today, I'm sitting in a workshop with Julia Cameron virtually to learn and go through the book with her. Super excited about it. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to be going through this myself. I want to help you go through it too. So, what I'm going to do for the next 7 weeks, so next week, we're going to intro the book. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I'm going to share how you can sort of tap into your own creativity. And then we're going to go through this book together for 6 weeks. So, for the remainder of January into the month of February, we are going to be learning these tools that are going to help us become a writer. And it can be, as you notice, it says creative tools for every writer, every writer. So if you're a newbie writer, if you've thought about writing but are not quite sure, if maybe you've been creating content, you've written, if you're a songwriter, like my cousin Rosie. Rosie is a musician. She's a songwriter. Even songwriters hit sort of creative blocks, right? Filmmakers do. Everybody does. So we're going to tap into our creativity, and we're going to learn some helpful tools that'll help us write. And so I'm excited to go through this because I need the help. If I'm going to get my book published, I'm going to be going through this book for 6 weeks. And I'm super excited because some of the chapters, I'm going to look up the chapters and tell you some of the chapters that are listed, I'm excited to talk about. One of them is called Priming the Pump. That's probably and I'll know more today after I attend my workshop, but I'm sure that that's, how do you get started? Everybody's always wanting to know, how do you get started? Here, I'm going to pull it up on my phone. It'll pull up a little faster here. And we're going to walk through these chapters one by one each week. We're going to look at each chapter and the tools that she has. So here are the chapters. So week 1, priming the pump. Week 2, begin where you are. Don't get overwhelmed by thinking you need to be at a certain point to write your story. Just begin where you are. Week 3, trust your process. It's called the writing process because it is a process. You learn so much about yourself, and you also learn about who your readers are. Who are the people that you're writing this content for or creating your content for? Week 4, resist your resistance. Ooh, what do we do when we come up against obstacles and creative blocks, right? Then week 5, week 5, y'all, this is going to be the day after Valentine's Day. So I'm going to celebrate, and then we're going to talk about dismantling your perfection. Or I'm going to say dismantling our perfection. A lot of times perfectionism, while it's a great thing to aspire to, we're never going to reach it, guys. And so we need to learn how to dismantle that so that we can break through that block to create. And then week 6, we're going to celebrate our achievement. We're going to celebrate where we are. So if you've ever wanted to write a book, if you've ever wanted to write a story, maybe you want to write some new content or create some new content for 2023. Maybe there's new songs you're wanting to write. Maybe there's some new art you're wanting to create. Maybe you got art projects coming up and you just don't want to have a creative mind freeze, right? This is the time to join. And if you have some goals that you really want to accomplish as far as writing and creating, this is the book for you. This is our time. So we're going to spend these next few weeks of 2023 at the beginning really tapping into some creative tools that are going to help us create some amazing content, right? So I hope you'll join me. I hope you'll join me. You can just watch here. Please follow me on this page. I'm going to put my little icon up here. Where is it? Right here. Right. Follow me. I'm going to put this right up here. Make sure you follow me so that you get notifications of when I go live. I go live every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. We sit down and have some coffee. Sometimes I catch up on headlines, talk about things, but mostly I'm going to share some great book ideas. I'm going to hopefully share some good creative ideas to help inspire you to create some of your best work this year. We're all working doing jobs. I work as an editor. I help people get their books produced and published. But I also have to block off time for my own creativity. And I hope that you will block off some time for your creativity because it's important. You are creating some new things this year. You're going to be doing some new things. And if you've ever had a goal of wanting to create something like a book, or a new set of songs, or some new artwork that you really want to put out there and maybe perhaps sell to people or offer to people and watch what happens. Let's do that this year. Let's make this year an important year to create new stuff, right? So if you're going to join me here live Wednesday mornings at 8. Have your coffee ready, have your notepad ready, and get ready to take some notes as we talk about this book. And more importantly, grab your copy of the book. Grab Write for Life. It's available now. You can pre-order it, and then it is available January the 10th. So on Wednesday, January 11th, next week, I am going to dive into the introduction on this book and talk about how we're going to go through it and some of the tools. And I can't wait. I'm going to be, again, like I said, going through a workshop with Julia today on this book before it goes live. And so I'm excited to share with you what I'm going to learn and hopefully what we're going to put to work together as we walk through the next 6 months. And I hope by the end of February, we're going to have some more content. We're going to have some content ready to show. I'm going to have some content. I'm going to be holding myself accountable with you guys and sharing my content with you each week as I'm walking through these tools myself. So if we walk through this together, you won't feel so alone in creating yours. Now, another thing that I'm excited about that I can't wait. So again, order the book, Write for Life. You can look it up on Amazon. It's available right now. Grab a copy of it. Okay. Now, another thing that I'm super excited about is book club. I have a book club. I have a group of fantastic people who we get together. We just had book club meeting last night. We talked about our December book club pick, which was The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the prequel to the Hunger Games series. Enjoyed that tremendously. It was a second time read for me, but we had a wonderful discussion last night. And I love to not only read great books and help people write great books, but I also love to discuss great books with some really amazing people who love books as much as I do. And we're a diverse group. We're from all over the United States. I'm hoping someday to have someone from, say London or something, join my book club. I don't know if they'd be able to join the book club discussion because we meet on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock Central Time, and that might be a little late for people overseas. However, if you aren't able to participate in the book club, you can just join my list and get my monthly book club recommendations. So for the month of January, I am super excited because we are going to be reading the book, The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry. If you love stories about bookstores, if you love stories about books, and if you love stories about bookish people, this is the story for you. It's a wonderful little romance, comedy, sort of drama. It's definitely a romance story, but it's set in a bookstore. But it's about the life of a man named A.J. Fikry, who owns a bookstore on Alice Island off the coast of, I think it's off the coast of Massachusetts, I believe. And it's a wonderful, delightful story. And if you've ever read Gabrielle Zevin's work, she has another book coming out that was recently out called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which is another great book. But this book she wrote back in 2014. And so we're going to be reading this book in book club. It's a delightful little romance story. And I can't wait. I can't wait. It's such a sweet story. So if you would like to join the book club, if you would like to find out more about, if you want to talk to me a little bit more about writing your story, about sharing your story. Oops, look, I got so much stuff on the screen here. Let's get rid of this. I didn't know that was going to do that, but there it is. But if you would like to join the book club and you want to join us here, I'll point this way. No, this way. This way. For the right place. If you want to join the book club in time to read this book with us, you can join right here at RoneHarden.com/contact. You can also let me know if you're interested in writing your own story. If you want to join me, just join me every Wednesday morning right here. We're going to be talking about the book Write for Life. But if you would like to extend that conversation, if you have questions about writing your story, about your progress, let me know. Right here, you can let me know if you'd like to have a 30-minute free coffee consultation with me. We sit down one-on-one, have a cup of coffee. We talk about whatever creative projects you're working on, how we can make those come to fruition in 2023. All right. So you can join me right here. Sign up for the book club so you can read along with us. And if you would like to delve deeper into the book club, you can join us for our live discussions. I also have some extra book recommendations that are made there. The book club recordings are recorded so that you can watch them later. And most importantly, we are planning to hold an annual Writers Book Club retreat, hopefully over the summer. So if you would like to do that and join a group of people who love books, want to talk about books, but more importantly, want to learn more about writing great books, this is the book club for you, right? So join me right here, RoneHarden.com/contact. If you have any questions, maybe you've thought about writing, you've never really taken the leap of faith, I want to encourage you. This is your year. Do it now. Don't let the clock tick away and let your content die in the background. Bring that content forward. What is it you want to create in 2023? I want to help you make that a reality. So join me, follow me. We are going to be sharing more about that. You can join the book club right here. You can let me know any of your questions that you have about writing. Okay. Really make that a priority this year. Make that one of your top goals for 2023. It's on my goals list, and I'm actually blocking off time to do that every day, if not every week. Make the time for it. If you make the time for it, you're going to see the results of your work, I promise. And I want to help you get there. I want you to be one of my authors so that someday you can send me your book with a note inside saying, oh, I did it. It's real. It's in my hands, an actual book. And then you can share it with others. And I can't wait to see what you create. So don't forget, guys, starting next week, we're going to be doing the Write for Life Reading Challenge. And I can't wait to share that with you. We're going to be working on our stories. We're going to be talking about those difficult things that get us, jammed up where we can't create our content. But I want you to create it with me. I'm going to be creating mine. I hope you will be creating yours. And together, let's make some great things happen in 2023. All right? All right, guys. Let's get busy. We've got a great day ahead and a great week ahead. I'll see you back here next week at 8 a.m. sharp. Grab your mug, have it ready, have a notepad ready. Let's get ready to make 2023 the best year yet. All right? Have a great one. See you next week.